Hi Capricorn, welcome to your weekly tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Cappy, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Your key to the week this week is the High Priestess. Usually I would say hidden things revealed, psychic messages, but this week your message is that you need to take something back to the drawing board. This isn't to say that it's not going to work. It's not to say that you've got the wrong idea or whatever. Like, this is literally, because the thing about the High Priestess, one thing that we don't talk about enough with her is purity. And so this, for me, in terms of like a worldly experience, usually talks about, usually talks about taking things back to the drawing board. So this week you're really being asked to take something back, to strip it back, all right? This is like the difference between, it's just an example, but if you've ever heard Lady Gaga do one of her songs as an acoustic version versus, the poppy stuff that you hear on the radio, it's completely different. There's a much deeper, richer texture to it. And that's like a lot of pop songs, actually. So that's one thing that I will say to you, like, whatever you're working on this week, strip it back, take it absolutely right back to the basics, to its core, to its deepest elements, and see what you have there, and then move forward. In all of these different sectors of your life as well, you're really being asked this week to find a way to strip it back, all right? Less really sometimes is more. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me. I've been a little bit under the weather. For your actions and options this week, you have the Two of Cups. And you've got this with the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is number 2. The Two of Cups is obviously a 2. So you've got two 2s here. 2 2s represents a bond, a pact, or an accord. For some of you, this is a partnership that has formed in secret. This could be anything from a clandestine affair to something that is, maybe you started to date somebody that other people wouldn't approve of. Maybe you have, as a business owner, you've taken on a partner, or you're starting to work with somebody that has previously been a competitor, and you're going to get a lot of stick for it. So it's like, not going to talk about this just yet. Strip it back to basics. What are the mechanics of this partnership? What are the mechanics of this connection? Do you feel that the fundamental basis of this is a good thing? If so, stuff what everybody else feels. For your actions and options this week, though, it does look like you are seeking partnership, connection, collaboration. You understand that whatever you're trying to do, you can't do it on your own. So reaching out and connecting with others is the way to go. For your communications and conversations, you have the Emperor, or the Horned One, in this deck. And you've got this with the High Priestess, right? So I actually really like this, because it looks like a lot of you are doing some sort of paperwork. There's something going on behind the scenes where you're setting something up. So maybe you're starting a company. Maybe you are reaching out to a lawyer. Maybe you are there's something here where you are forming something in the background, where you're getting everything kind of ready, where you're doing the paperwork, but you're doing all of this very much behind the scenes, under wraps. You're getting all the bits and pieces in place. You're pulling all of the resources and the different elements into alignment so that you can move forward with something. So I actually really like this. There's a really strong essence here of you starting to push forward. So I like it. I like it a lot. What I will say to you, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this might be a really good time to start looking at what the expectations are from your course. Like, it's one thing to know the syllabus. It's another thing to know who are the people that passed. What did they do that enabled them to do that? What are you looking for? I know, like, here in the UK, we get given, I'm sure this is the same everywhere really, but you get given like a criteria guideline to say like, so I know college and right up to, I think right up to university, but not including university level, you have a distinction, merit and credit profile. So this is, let's say, like ABC. In order to get a distinction, you need to do this and demonstrate this kind of knowledge. In order to get a merit, you need to demonstrate da 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 da. Do you see what I mean? This would be a really good week to start looking at the stuff behind that. Go back to the basics. Stop trying to wing it. Stop trying to just be the best that everybody, you know, the best that there is. And just take it back to the drawing board and look at what they're asking you for. When it comes to your, those of you that are employed by somebody else, there's something going on with the boss or the management level here. And I'm going to say this, it looks like you're going to be called upon for your advice or your opinion on something. And when that moment comes, I think you are probably going to let rip. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, there's a profound moment here where you just kind of get this feeling that for a lot of you, you've been just kind of going through the motions for a long time. Whereas this week, it's like you have a moment, a private moment where you're like, holy crap, I'm a business owner and this is very real. Like, I'm sure it's always that to you because, you know, you're a Capricorn and you're very much in, you know, in that sphere anyway. But there's something this week that really kind of makes you sit up and go, whoa, okay, you know what, I am the boss. What I will also say as well, for some of you, it looks like you're planning to go back to school in some way. You know, whether this is a qualification, whether it's a refresher course, there's some sort of learning here that you're doing, but maybe you're doing this in silence and secret. I have money on it that a lot of you are going to go and do some sort of accounting course. But you never know. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, a father, a grandfather, potentially a husband, some significant male figure in your life is likely to require your input. Or you could be forging a partnership or a bond with them. So you could be buying a property with, you know, an important male figure in your life as an investment. You could be going into business with said person. You know, it could shape up in a lot of ways. Then you've got the Four of Swords. Excuse me. So what do we see here? The Emperor is number 4. You've got the Four of Swords. You've got 2 2s. You've got the 2 4s. 2 2s, bond, pact or accord. 2 4s, insomnia. Partnerships, relationships, all forms of connections on a more intimate / familial basis. They could be the source of a few sleepless nights this week. It's possible. Maybe not necessarily because anything bad's happening, but it's just there's a lot going on in that sphere. So for those of you that are single, this is you very much putting the brakes on what anybody gets to see about said partnership or relationship. So there is something being formed this week. There is somebody in the picture. There is someone that you are getting very close to. But this is also somebody that you don't want anybody to know that you are dating for any number of reasons. It could be anything from an age gap through to, well, this person is my boss and so it's deemed as inappropriate. It could be, you know, this person is my best friend's dad, you know, providing the ages are okay, or, you know, so it could just be something where it's like, or it could even be as well, maybe for some of you, because we are in retrograde season at this point, maybe it's somebody that you've dated before and you know your friends are about to read your ass for filth if they find out you're dating that person again. So there's any number of reasons that it could be, but you are definitely putting the brakes on letting anybody know that this is going on. For those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, this would be a really good time to think about a vacation or some alone time with just you and your significant other. For your money and materials, you have the Four of Wands. So you've got 3 4s. 3 4s is a subject for reflection. So what is the subject for reflection? It's your partnerships, your connections, your collaborations. These are the things that really require you to reflect, to think about, why am I hiding this? All right, why do I not want anybody to know this? It's not to say that you're doing anything wrong, at least I hope you're not. It's just, if tarot is saying to you, this is a subject for reflection, there is something, you know, and if you're hiding something, there's always a reason, right? I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, I feel guilty, whatever it might be. Because the third four came up in your money and materials, something about your resources and potentially where those are involved with a partnership are also needing to be looked at. The Four of Wands for a money card is actually really great, especially because you've got the Emperor here as well. Money that you need, money that you apply for, grants, loans, bursaries, anything of that nature, totally open and available to you. Probably not something to talk about. For some of you, this might also be pay rise season. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Four of Wands is your head. You got a double hit of this energy as well, because you've got the Emperor there as well. So the mind, the head, potentially a lot going on there that's maybe causing a tension headache. And then when it comes to your home and environment, the Four of Wands is great. There's good news coming into the home, but it's good news that you're keeping very private. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week, and let me know in the comments. It looks like you ain't letting nobody know anything. But if you should be so inclined, let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.